Hey guys, Timster here with another video, and today I'm going to be bringing you guys the KV-2, this absolute Russian beast, which just got released in Blitz. It is on PC, and it is known to be a legend, and boy oh boy, it is a legend, because of course, the 152mm gun. Today I'm basically going to go over how to kind of use this tank, because it does take a while to get used to this gun, and it's something we haven't seen before in Blitz, and just give a little review on if this tank is worth grinding your way up. So guys, stay tuned, hope you enjoy. Okay, so before we get into the stats, I just want to go over quickly the consumables, ammunition, and equipment. For the consumables, the only thing I recommend is adrenaline, because you're going to want it for your loading speed, which is completely horrible with the 152mm gun. The ammunition is half-half, half AP, half HE. I'll go more into that later. The equipment, improved ventilation class 3, of course, that I recommend for all vehicles, large caliber tank gun rammer, and enhanced gun laying drive, which are going to be essentials if you're using the 152mm gun. So, getting into the statistics, I'm going to focus more on the gun, but first let's just go over the armor on this thing. It does have a KV-1 hull, which means that it has 75mm on the front and sides of the turret and the hull. So at a tier 6, that's not good at all. When you're going to be going up against those tier 8s and tier 7s, there's really no point of angling. They're just going to completely tear you apart. So not great in terms of protection. It has a weight of 53.7 tons, making it a very slow tank. Even with the V5 engine, you're still going to be going at about 20 kilometers per hour with this 600 horsepower engine. But now for the gun. Yes, this is the thing that makes this tank so fun and so interesting. One of the reasons that it sets it apart from all the other tanks in Blitz is because of the 152mm M10. Yes, at first glance, it does have a 2.5 rounds per minute rate of fire, but as we look at it more closely, it is extremely powerful. The penetration values are not great for AP, but at high explosive, 86mm of penetration is extremely good when we compare it to the 107mm ZIS-6, the tier 7 gun, which has 54mm of penetration for high explosive. But now let's take a look at the average damage. For AP, it's 640, which is just massive, and for high explosive, it's 960, which is just nuclear, which I don't think is an actual adjective, but I have used it in that sense. The dispersion at 100 meters is 0.6, and the aiming time is 4 seconds. That is huge. That is what makes this gun kind of like a little weird in a sense. That's why you really want the large caliber tank gun rammer and the enhanced gun laying drive. And even though this does have a really big gun, it kind of reminds me of the artillery from the PC version, you do not want to be at very far distances just because it is inaccurate. However, you don't want to be up close either, because the gun depression for this thing is just terrible. I was facing an IS-3 and it got up close, and that was the end. Not a very good gun depression, so you want to stay away from your enemies so you won't run into that problem. As for the shell types, this is one of the guns that does actually include both AP and HE. And this makes it a little interesting, because in most scenarios, you either use one ammunition more than the other. However, for this gun, you can actually use both at varying times, depending on the situation. The interesting facts about HE is that it will always cause damage, no matter what you do, and you can't really take advantage of that most of the time, because you end up doing like 25 damage, even though you didn't penetrate with HE. However, with this gun, it's a totally different question. Even without penetrating a tank with HE, you will do somewhere from 250 to 450 damage to that tank. That is a lot of damage for not penetrating. That basically means that you just have to shoot a tank and hit it to do massive amount of damage. That's one of the tactics I like to use against higher tiers. I'm going to be going over this chart just to show when to use HE and AP. AP is a little risky to use because AP can actually bounce. You can't just shoot a tank and automatically penetrate. A big risk for the 25-24 seconds of reload this gun has. I made this chart just to kind of simplify how to use the ammunition in a battle. There's a type A, B, and C, and as you can see, the damage actually goes down from the different armor types. Type A has anywhere from 0mm to 86mm, and those are mostly the tier 5s you'll encounter, and some tier 6s, depending on the tank. And that's when you want to use HE to do the full average 960 damage to one-shot and obliterate most of your tanks. At tier B, if you want to take the risk, you can use AP when you encounter a tank that has between 86mm and 136mm of armor, and when you do, you can do somewhere near 640 damage. So it's definitely worth trying to use AP because you can do substantially more damage than just always using HE and not penetrating. Armor above 136mm, you are always going to use HE. That means when you see an IS-3, when you see a Tiger, just get your HE out and blow that thing to bits. If a tank is on lower than 250 health, you can just take out your HE and blast that thing. Anyway guys, I hope you liked my review on the KV-2. I hope you found it interesting and you liked all the one-shotting that was going on in the video. And if you did, please make sure to like and subscribe. Catch you guys next time. Peace.